Carrie Greenwood has a passion for promoting empowerment and leadership for all people, especially youth and women with disabilities. She expresses her passion through her work and volunteer activities. Carrie currently works for the Kansas Youth Empowerment Academy in Topeka, which is a nonprofit organization that works to educate, mentor, and support youth and disabilities in Kansas. She has served as the program coordinator for the past 14 years and previously served as the outreach coordinator for 4 years prior to that. Carrie also serves as the president CEO of Miss Wheelchair Kansas and is the treasurer for Miss Wheelchair America. She served as Miss Wheelchair Kansas 2004 and was an independent delegate that year, starting the Miss Wheelchair Kansas program from the ground up. She currently serves as the vice chair of the Kansas Disability Caucus Board of Directors and is the chair of the Association of the Youth Leadership Forums. Carrie holds an Associate of Applied Science degree in Design Technology from Washburn University. She is also a graduate of the Kansas Youth Leadership Forum, received the YWCA of Topeka Women of Excellence Award in 2008, and was one of Topeka's 2013 20 Under 40 honorees. In her free time, Carrie enjoys listening to music, volunteering at her church, reading a good fiction book, shopping, and spending time with her friends and family. Hello, Carrie. Thank you for sitting down with me for this interview about Miss Wheelchair Kansas. I really just want people to get to know you and the organization a little bit more. So I just have a couple of hopefully fun questions. So let's get started. So
Sounds good.
why did you decide to start Miss Wheelchair Kansas?
Yeah, so I knew nothing about the Miss Wheelchair program when I stumbled upon it on the internet, which is where we find all good, interesting ideas, right? And I learned about Miss Wheelchair America, and I really had never heard of anything like this before, and it definitely caught my eye as far as I had never seen that type of program that was an empowerment program for women who were specifically wheelchair users. And I've been a wheelchair user for my entire life, and so of course it caught my eye in that way of like, this is something that maybe I would want to be involved in. And so I kind of looked into it further and realized that not only is it an empowerment program, but it's also a program that really focuses on advocating for people with disabilities, and giving people the chance, giving women the chance to be role models, and giving them an opportunity to share their stories and educate the public and things like that. So of course, once I learned about that, I definitely was interested in being involved myself, but also being able to see how we could get other people in our state involved. And so I kind of looked into it further, and then found that Kansas was not represented at the time. This was many, many years ago. This was way back in, it was probably about 2003 when I found this information. And so I found out that Kansas was not a part of it at the time, and found out that, in order to bring the program to your state, you could become an independent delegate in your state, which meant that you would automatically become the title holder in your state, and then agree to be the state coordinator after that, and really build the program in your state. And so after much deliberation and convincing from other people and just really thinking about it a lot, I decided to go for it, and really just bring this program to our state. And really, again, the reason that I did it was I loved, and I still love, the thought of giving women with disabilities in our state the opportunity to have a platform for their voice to be heard. Any opportunity that we can get to educate the public about people with disabilities, I think, is a good thing, and it's a positive thing. And I just really loved, the mission and the purpose behind it, and what it could do for people in our state. And I would like to think that, this many years later, that it has impacted a lot of people in our state. So that's really my original thoughts when I first started it, and definitely still to this day why I believe in the program so much.
Well, that actually kind of answers my next question for you, but I'll go ahead and ask it anyway, and you can
Yeah.
expand on it. So, what do you love about the Miss Wheelchair Kansas organization as a whole?
Gosh, there's so many things that I love about it. I think that I love the fact that it celebrates strong women. I love the fact that it does. I think one of my favorite things about this organization and this program is that it often allows women who haven't necessarily had the opportunity before to really be exposed to the disability community. I've seen a lot of our title holders who have come into it, and some have been in the disability community for a long time. I can't say that this is everyone, but a lot of our title holders have, they've been given this title and they just really get immersed in the disability community in our state. And they get the opportunity to see our community and meet people and go and do things that they wouldn't have had the chance to do before. And I think that's awesome. I love that. I love that we give that opportunity to people. And I love the fact that this organization breaks down stereotypes about who females with disabilities are, specifically, females who are wheelchair users. There's a lot of stereotypes out there. There's a lot of perceptions about people with disabilities in general. And I really think that this organization, among many others, of course, in our state, but we are just one avenue that really breaks down those stereotypes and shows people that women with disabilities are just as accomplished, just as amazing, just as successful as other people out there. So I love that about it too. And I really, really love the fact that we've added a Little Miss program in the last, I think it's been 6 or 7 years now. I think that has been a wonderful addition to our organization. I think that it really does give the younger girls who are involved the chance to have some really awesome role models in their lives. And so I think that portion of our organization is definitely something that is, it's fantastic. It really provides that mentoring experience and gives them role models so that they can, begin to see that they too can be successful, and they can have families, and they can travel, and they can do all these different things that our adults are doing. And it really starts that mentoring in their life. So I think that's also something that I love about it. I just love that it's a sisterhood. I personally love being around other strong females that are successful and are accomplishing their goals and have a voice and like to share their voice. And so, bringing us all together as a sisterhood and allowing us to support each other and celebrate each other and things like that. The celebration piece of this is really important. And I think it's definitely something that I love. Not only that we as women with disabilities are celebrating each other, but that other people come together during our event and during other things that we're doing to celebrate the people involved in our organization. And I think that's really, it's fantastic. And it's something that gives me a lot of pride in this organization and what we do. So those are, I could literally go on for days as to what I love about it, but those are definitely some of the highlights.
Great, that's awesome. So, what do you want people to know about women with disabilities?
Well, that definitely goes along with what I just said. There are just so many, again, there's so many stereotypes against people with disabilities in general. And I think that obviously those are placed upon women with disabilities as well. I think a lot of times people in our communities don't think that women with disabilities are employed. I think a lot of times people don't think that they have college degrees, that they are active and independent. I think a lot of times that the public doesn't realize that women with disabilities can be moms too. And through a lot of the title holders that we've had, we've shown that we can be wives, we can be moms, we can be working women, we can be just active and again, independent, living on our own, and just that really we can that we do lead full lives as everyone else. And that we're beautiful too. That's not what we're about. We're not about the outer beauty, but that there is beauty in every person. And I think a lot of times, if you have a disability, that beauty is not seen. because people are so focused on the equipment and the things that make you different. And so I think that we also, we show that beauty comes in a lot of different forms, and kind of breaks that stereotype too of that we don't care what we look like, we don't care how we are presenting ourselves, and that's very false, obviously. And so I think that this organization gives us the opportunity to break some of those stereotypes as well. So just, there's just a lot of things that people assume about us. And a lot of times that information is false. So women with disabilities, specifically women who are wheelchair users, they can be independent. They can be, again, working women, have families, they can travel, they have hobbies. We have, likes and dislikes, and just, we are a full person. And I think that this organization shows that to people, because our title holders have been so unique and have had different interests and different platforms and different backgrounds and stories. And so we're able to really showcase how we're all different, but we're all amazing, through the title holders that we've had over the years.
Awesome. Sounds like a great organization. Where do you see Miss Wheelchair Kansas heading in the next 5 years?
I mean, I see us definitely still going strong, obviously, in the next 5 years. We will have even more title holders by then. We plan to have this organization have an annual event every year. So, of course, crowning more and more adult title holders and Little Miss title holders. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization and have been that for a few years now. So I think just expanding upon that, looking at ways that we can hopefully support our title holders even more, giving them more and more opportunities. I honestly could even see us having maybe an additional program, like a Junior Miss program or something along those lines. We really wanted to make sure that our adult program and our Little Miss program were solid before we, threw another program in the mix. But I could see us eventually adding like a Junior Miss or a teen or something like that, as another program that we have, expanding on our board to get more board members from all different aspects of the community, getting more and more people involved. We're working on a new website right now. So just really improving, I guess, all the things that we're doing now, and making us an even more professional and legitimate organization. And having more people know about us. It's amazing to me how we've been around since 2004, and I still hear from people, oh, I didn't know there was a Miss Wheelchair Kansas. And I get it. I mean, I get it that, we are solely an organization that is run by volunteers. And so I think often when you have that, you're not able to get the word out as well as maybe if you had like paid staff who could travel and things like that. And so I would just love to see more and more people know about us, and just really getting the word out across the state about us. I think, a lot of us are in the northeast part of the state. And so, expanding our reach wider across the state, as well as just getting more and more people to know about what we do and the fact that we have this organization and how wonderful it is, and just getting more and more people, giving more and more people that knowledge that we're here and we want to get more people involved. That's what I would love to see, at least in the next 5 years. Beyond that, I don't know, we'll see. But I think those are some things that I could see us definitely working on in the next 5 years, recruitment, marketing, getting the word out more, and just continuing to impact people and educate people in our state.
Wow. So with all of these wonderful goals and hopes and plans for the future, how can people get involved in the organization?
There are a lot of ways to get involved. So of course, if someone is a female wheelchair user, then they should consider being a contestant. That's, first and foremost, of course, what I have to say. So our adult contestants just have to be 21 years old or older, live in Kansas, of course, and be a wheelchair user for 100% of community mobility. So that means like outside of your house, that you're in your wheelchair for 100% of the time. So, if you're a wheelchair user and you fit that, that criteria, then definitely consider being a contestant. Little Miss program is ages 5 to 12. And again, wheelchair user, live in the state of Kansas. So that would be more of the younger ages. So first and foremost, contestants. But if you're not a female wheelchair user, then there are a lot of other ways to get involved. And even if you are a female wheelchair user and you're saying, well, this doesn't really feel like something that I would want to be a contestant, there are lots of other opportunities. So we have a board of directors, and we're always looking for board members to contribute their skills to our organization. We're always looking for a wide variety of skills, whether that be fundraising, marketing. Maybe you're just passionate about people with disabilities and empowering people with disabilities. You'd be a good fit for our board if you have that passion. So being a board member is one way of getting involved. You can just volunteer at our event. Our event is typically in March every year. And we always look for volunteers for that. So there's so many different ways. So you could help decorate. You could help, I don't even know. You could help carry in bags when people are coming in. You can help us get auction items. You can help us get fun items for the contestant gift bags. So there's that avenue as well. You could volunteer just with the organization throughout the year. So again, maybe you're good at fundraising, or maybe you're good at updating social media. Hillary is our new social media coordinator, but we might need another person to help with that eventually. So it really is just kind of looking at what your skills are and how you could contribute to the organization, and we'll take you. Financially, we are always looking for sponsors. We run solely on contributions from the community, grants, things like that. And so, if you want to sponsor, or you have a company that would like to sponsor, or you're just good at fundraising and you want to help us do that, that's a definite way that you can help us. Trying to think what else. Again, we're always looking for auction items for our fundraiser auction, and really just spreading the word about what we do. If you do nothing else, if you can just tell one person that you know about Miss Wheelchair Kansas, that's going to help us, because when that person tells someone else and then they tell someone else, the word about what we do gets spread across our state. So if you want to help and you don't feel like there's other ways that you could contribute, if you can just simply pass the word along that we're around, that we're available, maybe give someone our website or our Facebook page, that helps us a lot. So those are just a wide variety of different ways that people can help, but all of those ways are listed on our website. So if people want to know more, or they want to find out ways that they can get involved, I would definitely direct them to our website. And I don't know if you want me to say that, what our website is, or if you'll have a slide for that, but the website is kind of the catch-all for directing people if they want to get involved.
That's awesome. And I have one more question for you. So,
okay.
What is your favorite part of the event every year?
My favorite part of the event? That's a really good question, because the whole weekend is pretty awesome. I really would say the crowning is probably my favorite part of the weekend, even though for me it's the most stressful. Because it is the culmination of like everything that we put together, and you want it to go well, and things like that. But for me, the crowning it's a lot of different things. It's when we get to see everyone come together to celebrate the contestants. And I pride myself when I'm working on finding volunteers. I really try to make sure that we're getting volunteers from all walks of life and diversity and things like that. And so it's really cool to see everybody come together for a good cause. So I like that piece of it, of just seeing everyone come and seeing everybody come together to celebrate those who are involved in the program. But of course, I also love seeing that crowning moment when, first of all, when our little miss gets crowned and she's so excited, and the previous one, gets to crown them. And it really just shows that, again, that sisterhood. So, watching the little miss girls when they get crowned, but then also our adults as well. It's a really special moment when that person, really gets that confirmation of you've been selected. as our new title holder. And it kind of hits them that in this next year, they're going to have this amazing experience and they're going to get to do all these wonderful things. And I think it really hits them in that moment that the world has just kind of opened up to them. And so seeing the reaction of people in that moment is really, really cool. And I think that's definitely one of my favorite moments, is just people seeing people celebrated. I mean, again, that's why I started this, was to allow women and young girls to be celebrated for their accomplishments, for who they are as a human being, for their inner beauty, which is really what we're about. And so that moment at the crowning is really that moment where they are celebrated and people are just showering applause on them and good thoughts on them. And so that's a really, really special moment. So I guess if I was going to pick my favorite from the whole weekend, that would be one of them. I think too, at the crowning, a lot of times we have our alumni that come back, our former title holders. And the moment when we all get together and take that group picture, I think is really cool too. It just makes me really proud to see everybody together and see how this program has grown over the years, and just the really, really accomplished women of achievement who are involved in the organization, and putting them all in a group is pretty cool. So that's definitely my favorite part of the week, is the crowning, but there's a lot of good moments throughout the weekend event as well.
That's fantastic. Thanks so much for sitting down with me. Before I let you go, is there anything else you want anyone to know about this organization?
I just encourage people to get involved. I encourage people to really learn what the organization is about, because oftentimes people see the title of our organization and they instantly have a perception about what they think that it probably is. And so I just really encourage people to look into it more so that they can really understand what we're about, that we're not about outer beauty. We're not a quote unquote pageant. We are an empowerment and leadership program for females who happen to use wheelchairs. And that's really the core and the heart of who we are. And also that we're about embracing all disabilities, even though, we do have requirements for our program, but at the same time, we want to celebrate all people with disabilities and we want to advocate for all people with disabilities. So, that's what I would just say is, look into our program, look at our website, look at what we've got on our Facebook page, look at what our title holders are doing, so that you can really learn what we're about and what our mission is truly about, that it is an empowerment and leadership organization. And we want people to know it by that. So I just encourage people to get involved, learn more about what we do, and there's plenty of opportunities. So contact us if you want to get involved or if you want to learn more. We definitely would love to, again, spread the word more and get the message out about who we are. So yeah, please look into what we do and feel free to contact us if you want to get more involved.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me, Carrie. I really appreciate it. And hopefully this interview will bring more attention to the organization.
Awesome. Well, thank you for doing it. And I look forward to being able to spread the word more through this video.